Hello there. My name is Dr. Kingsley Mayowa Okonoda. I'm a consultant psychiatrist and certified management consultant. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Network Consult Training and Development. At Network Consult, we help individuals, organizations, and communities to actualize their potentials, cope with normal stresses of life, work productively, and make meaningful contributions to society.
My name is Oyewumi Olufemi. I've been following Dr. Okonoda for a while, but last year, October 1st, I attended a seminar at NetWealth. I've been having great fears in starting up a business, which I had lots of plans. They were just on paper. But after I came to the program, he said some things that just made me forget about my fears. My business has started and it's doing very, very well.
At Network Consult Limited, we invite you to avail yourself of our trainings, workshops, and conferences so that you can have the life of abundance that you deserve. Thank you very much. Welcome back. Our guest today is Pastor Benson Ogbe. He's the senior pastor of House of Hope International and the lead mentor at Benson Ogbe Relationship Mentoring Academy. Pastor, you are welcome.
Thank you, Doctor. It's my pleasure being here tonight.
All right, so you can say that you are part of us now.
Yes.
So that's, and I'm sure that the viewers at home are also excited to have you here.
Okay, I'm more excited to be here.
So we're just going to launch into the discussion of today.
Yeah.
Because of course you are already giving us your background,
Absolutely.
why you are doing what you are doing,
Yeah.
and all that. So we are comfortable with that. Today we are talking about love in marriage. Finding and keeping it till the end.
Yeah.
Is on the radar of some of the things that we discussed last week,
Yeah.
where we talked about love being a feeling, and that a lot of people get into marriage because of that feeling. However, that feeling is not enough to make that selection process.
Yeah.
And all that. But before we go into the selection process, let's establish what marriage is.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have friendships. I have friends that I've been friends with since I was in primary school. They are ladies, we grew up together. Yeah, there is a filial law. When we talk on phone now, we can talk for hours, but they're just my friends. What makes marriage a unique relationship?
Yeah. That's an amazing question, Doc. I thank you very much for this opportunity once again. Let me quickly state that marriage, unlike other relationships, is a covenant relationship.
Okay.
Marriage is not a casual relationship, it's a covenant relationship. It's one of the only forms of human relationship where oath is required before you start. Okay. And one of the essence of insisting on taking an oath and what we call signing the dotted lines is basically because, like we said last time, emotions cannot be relied upon.
Okay.
Because people are often triggered. Marriage relationship begins from the point of emotions.
Okay.
But because, and we know that at that point, your emotion will suggest to you that this is supposed to be forever. But because emotions cannot be trusted, then we have to make, because emotions cannot be trusted and we want it to be a lasting relationship, it must be a relationship that is covenanted.
Okay.
That there's an agreement that indicates or suggests that this is forever.
Okay.
So marriage, like, unlike other relationship, is a covenant and not a casual relationship.
So covenant because of the oath.
Yes, because of the oath the oath requires that you agree to live together until death do you part.
All right. Now, it seems to be a little bit scary in the way you are saying it.
Yeah.
Because you said that because that thing the feeling cannot be relied upon.
Yeah.
So it seems as if that thought is preparing for the day that you think, I don't want anymore. And then you remember the oath and say,
yeah, the oath is actually preparing you for the day that the feelings will go down. Because when I say the feelings cannot be trusted, it just says that feelings can be very epileptic.
Okay.
They are dependent on external factors.
Okay.
You understand? And so because some of these external factors are fleeing in nature, they are not sacrosanct, they are not consistent,
Okay.
it can affect your feeling.
Mm.
And so in that regard, when feelings fail, something needs to kick in. It's like an automobile, a car.
Mm.
You know, there is a kickstarter or an ignition. When you start it, there's a battery that supply power to you. When you start it, the car cannot keep riding on battery.
On that battery.
It has to ride on, I don't know much about alternator and all of those other mechanisms.
Okay.
And so we can liken that to say that emotions are like the battery.
Okay.
So when emotions kick the relationship, it takes it back to alternator, which is the covenant you have entered.
Okay.
Which is the understanding that I'm in this thing for life.
Okay.
I remember I told my wife one time after our marriage, when we were having some little disagreement here and there, and at that time we're not feeling as good as we felt the day we signed the dotted lines. I said to her, girl, we are stranded on this island together.
I'm intrigued by your choice of words.
Yes.
Stranded on this island.
I like, you see, marriage is big business. And so you said, initially when I made a statement, I said, it sounds very scary. We need to begin to make people understand that marriage is a big deal.
Okay.
It is big business. You cannot casually walk into it.
Okay.
Why we're having a lot of marriage failures these days is because people are casually walking into it and are treating it with kid gloves.
Okay.
They're not entering it with intentionality and deliberateness. And that is what is required. So marriage is a covenant relationship. Are you aware that every serious relationship that man will enter, whether work relationship, career relationship, there are lines that you will sign. A sportman will tell you they sign contracts. You give us 5 years of your life. In other words, the day you wake up in your dressing room and you don't feel like coming to training, you cannot stay back. You come out because you have signed an agreement to do it, even if you don't feel like. The only thing that can terminate a relationship is when we terminate that contract. And that's what marriage is all about.
So what now distinguishes a contract from a covenant? Because people will say marriage is not a contract. But some people enter with the mindset of contract.
Yeah.
So what is the difference? Because dotted lines, people are bound by what they are signed.
Yes.
But now this is covenant.
Yeah.
What's the difference between contract and covenant in this case? Because I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Marriage is not a contract,
It's a covenant. Well, I think it's a matter of choice of words.
Okay.
Yes, I believe it's a matter of choice of words.
Okay.
And it's just the how do I put it? Yeah, it's a matter of choice of words.
Okay.
But then if you want to put the different, if you want to just find something that differentiates both the covenant and the covenant, is because one is for life, for example, and then one is ordained by God.
Okay.
It's an institution established by God.
Okay.
And it's formed on a better premise that is beyond just a contract that is for personal benefit, as it were.
Okay.
Marriage is beyond me satisfying your personal benefit. In fact, when we go into what help a relationship last, I'll mention something that has to do with mutual benefits. You understand? It's beyond just satisfying your own need. In fact, the purpose of marriage is bigger than our individual needs. There is the God factor in it.
So
God is in.
that purpose?
Say that again.
What then is that purpose? That's bigger than our individual.
Okay, you see, it was God that Adam was having a good time with hippopotamus and lions and enjoying the gorillas in the garden.
And God used to come down in the
Yes, he had that form of relation.
Okay.
It was God's desire to establish an estate called the earth.
Okay.
And God found that the legal means for which you'll be able to carry that out is through a relationship, an intimate relationship between a man and a woman.
Okay.
And so that can be established. And so God said, okay, let me establish an institution that can help better the life of this creation of mine, and eventually build, take dominion over the estate called the earth. So you see that God has an interest in marriage. So it's beyond you, it's beyond her. Do you understand?
Now, from what you are saying now, there could be those people who says, I don't want an estate, and I want to be on my own. But then later on they say, okay, let me get married. So in this present age and time, what could be the purpose of marriage for people who are going into that marriage? Because now it's not about God.
Okay, but no, you can't, you see, let's even define purpose. Purpose is defined as the original intention that is in the heart of a maker of a thing before the thing is made. Purpose, the original intention.
Okay.
The purpose of this chair is not, I wasn't the one that determined it.
Okay.
I could have come upon this chair and stood upon it, and it would serve a purpose. I could have used this chair as a table for food.
Those days we do a luta, we stand on
top of it. But that is an abuse of purpose.
Okay.
The original intention is in the heart of the manufacturer of this product.
Okay.
And it was designed to serve as a seat for us to sit. Okay. To do anything on the contrary is the abuse of purpose. So you cannot take God out of marriage because God is the originator, God is the creator. And so if to understand the purpose of marriage, you must go to the original plan. What is it? God said it's not good for man to be alone. Let us establish a system that will help better his life. So the purpose of marriage is to better the life of humans.
Interesting. All right. It seems that this question I want to ask is a tautology, or we are begging the question.
Okay.
Is love enough for marriage?
Well, the word enough means the answer will be in the negative. It's no.
All right. So, just like examiners will say, support your answer with appropriate illustrations and arguments.
Okay, I'll give that. You see, let me give you an example. When you look at, to tell you how God depends on humans to be able to build a good marriage, I often will say to people, we mentioned it before, me and you had a conversation, the first marriage that we have come to accept and know is the marriage between Adam and Eve. That was a marriage that God himself officiated, as it were. Yes. God himself handed Eve to Adam. Yes. But yet that marriage was not crisis proof. In other words, it had crisis of its own. Exactly. In fact, they raised a murderer. Their son was a murderer. They raised a dysfunctional home. So it tells you that, and when Adam saw Eve, Adam was excited. Exactly. Adam exclaimed, "Now I found the bone of my bone." I want to believe that Adam was physically attracted to Eve. Adam was in love with her. But then it didn't mean that they didn't need to do other things to make their marriage work. You understand me? So love cannot be enough. The emotion of love cannot be enough. And we mentioned the 4 kinds of love the other day. You know, they kick in, it's like from primary 1 to primary 2. You can begin from the level of erotic love, which is important for every marriage relationship. The erotic love is that love that guarantees attraction. Okay. That is what will make me differentiate. I can be in a room now, 4 women are here. The one I would choose as a wife is the one that I'm erotically attracted to. Now, I can't live there because I cannot be walking erotically every day of my life. Do you understand? To sustain that, Eros must transfer it maybe to Philios, to Agape at the end of the day, which is the one that sustains it. Okay. And because the topic said finding and keeping it, Eros will help you find, Agape will help you keep.
But what then is the selection criteria? Because you said, you know, I remembered what you said. Yes. Said, okay, a lot of people make their choice because of that feeling. However, eventually they discover that they shouldn't have made those choices. Yes. Because that feeling is not enough reasons to make a life commitment into marriage.
It's a good reason, but not enough. It's a good reason,
but
not enough.
All right. So now, I'm a solution-oriented person. Yes. What then should be the total package that is good and enough? Okay.
I'm not a medical doctor, but paracetamol is good, but it's not enough for malaria treatment. Okay. I'm sure. Okay. Paracetamol is good.
Okay. So people even argue that it's not good.
Okay. I've seen that when they say take or if it persists. Yes. Okay. We are saying now that love is good, but love symptoms can persist if you depend on love absolutely. Okay. You understand? Right. So what we now do is actual diagnosis and treatment. Now the question is, how do I find it? The Bible speaking in Proverbs 18:22, it says, "He that findeth." And so we're talking about finding. He that findeth finds a good thing and obtains the favor of God, which means selection is very critical. That was why Abraham said to his servant, he said, "When you want to choose a wife, my son, I want to go to this part of the world. Don't select the wrong one. Select the right one for my son." So selection. So how do you find? First of all, before you can embark on the journey of finding a wife, you must find purpose of life. Okay. Find your purpose and assignment for your own life. Okay. Marriage is not the most important decision of your life. Okay. There are equally other important decisions that the success of marriage is hinged on, which include finding the purpose for your life. Somebody once said Adam was given a garden before a wife to tend with. So fine, if you must select, you must first find the purpose for your life. Okay. Then also, you must also now, there are over 7 billion people, and I don't know what the sharing formula as to what women are. There are many women out there that can be your wife. There are many men out there that can be your husband. You understand? I am not attracted to the same things like you are. We all have. So you must find out, what do I want? What do I want in a spouse? And you can only answer that question if you are able to find your own self and your purpose. What do I want? Because purpose therefore becomes a regulator. I tell people, for example, if you have been able to identify your love language, and your love language is quality time, because we have the 5 love languages as propounded by Gary Chapman. Now, if you have been able to identify your love language quality time, then marrying a soldier is actually against. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
You can't have love language that is quality time and you marry a military man. I've joined a wedding where the husband got married this Saturday and was on the way to Sierra Leone for peacekeeping force a week or so later, right? And so that's why it's important. The journey to finding the right spouse begins with you. The selection process begins with you. What do I want in a spouse? What kind of person fits into my life? My life. My life is not the same thing with Dr. Okonore's life. What kind of woman is best suitable? You must understand that the reason why marriages are failing today is because the partners that most people choose not compatible to the life that they are living. And therefore brings a friction. If your wife or your husband is not compatible to the purpose of your life, there will be problem. It's like carrying a dog, except for proper training, a cat and a rat, and bringing them into a relationship. Or bringing a goat with a yam. One is food for survival. Do you understand? So you must find a partner that is suitable to the life that you are in. That's what the Bible said, that when Adam was created, I believe, according to when I used to, I said Adam attempted some form of relationship with all of the animals. But the Bible said there was none suitable for him.
Okay.
There was none suitable. So there's always one that is suitable for you. So it begins with you finding out who you are, what your assignment in life is, and who is the best person that is suitable for you.
All right. Now, this issue of suitability
is
one thing that I want us to look at in different dimensions.
Yeah.
We have talked about a soldier, for example. I know somebody that spent about how many years in the military, but then eventually decided this is not for me.
The military is not for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he left the military.
Yeah.
If he has gotten married at that point in time, and he believes that he doesn't need so much of quality time and all this kind of, and then later on he now left the military and all that. The point I'm trying to make, circumstances change, people change and all these kind of things. How does that come to play in that issue of that selection process?
Okay. I agree with you. Purpose is eternal. Okay. That's why finding purpose is a discovery, it's not a decision.
Okay.
Purpose is not your decision. Purpose is older than the product.
Okay.
Your assignment and purpose in life precedes your existence.
Okay.
God said to them, I said, before you were formed in your owner's womb, I knew you and have ordained you a prophet unto the nations. So Jeremiah, you don't decide to be a prophet. You discover the assignment of God upon your life. Okay. And so when you say somebody has found that this is not for me, it therefore means that pursuit, that life, whatever, was a decision he made at a certain point, which is subject to change. But the discovery of purpose, a dog will not suddenly realize that I discover I'm not created to bark. You cannot change. You are meant to. That's your wiring.
All right.
That's what purpose is all about.
All right. Now you seem to be talking about the big things.
Yeah.
But I get involved in a lot of counseling because many people that have issue of mental health issues, you now discover that it's linked with their relationships, their marriages, or their children are the ones that present. You know. And I discover that sometimes it's the small things that people, because you are talking about purpose now, there are people whose purposes are lining together. Everybody can see, but they just...
No, you see, what I said now is not a guarantee for a peaceful home.
Okay.
Yes, what I said now is not a guarantee.
Okay, but
it's possible.
Guarantee for the selection.
It's guarantee for selection.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that you have selected right.
Okay.
It means that everything will work well.
Oh.
Yeah, so
okay.
don't get it twisted.
So that is the selection now.
That's the selection.
All right, so let's walk into the home now.
Yeah, so
all right. So because I discover a lot of, sometimes people.
In fact, let me tell you. I've seen marriages where God said, "This is your husband." This one, like I said, is your husband.
You have told us about Adam and
Eve. Yes.
Number one, God chased them out of their house. Meaning that
they disappointed, evicted. Their landlord said, "Don't stay there."
And then they raised the murderer.
Exactly.
So
it shows to you that you selected well. It's not a guarantee that it will end well.
All right.
There are other, just like they give you a new car, it's not a guarantee it will not knock.
Wonderful. All right. Now, before we go for our break, which is just, let's start looking at, because we said finding it
and
keeping it
yes.
to the end.
Yes.
What are those things that make love or marriage or union or whatever you want to call it last to the end?
Okay. First of all, you must know that marriage is a call to responsibility.
Okay.
It's a call to responsibility. That when you get into a marriage relation, it is work.
Okay.
You have an assignment to carry out.
All right.
It is a task given to you, and it's a task that you must embark on, religiously and committedly.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, the mindset is that marriage is not a place for selfish people.
Okay.
The Bible said, wife, husband, render unto your wife due benevolence. In other words, the moment you come into marriage, it's no longer about you. It's about the other person. That's why a selfish person cannot be happily married. Your focus now will be, how do I better the life of the other person?
Okay.
What is my contribution? Once you have that mindset, it's not going to be about you anymore. Your concern will be how to better the life of that person. Just like when you work in an organization, if your reason for getting a job is just because you want to earn a living, you'll be very ineffective on that job. But if you got into that job with the essence of contributing to the betterment of that organization, you become irreplaceable, as it were. So when you come into marriage, you must very realize it's work. Either, even though God said to you that this is your wife, you have a responsibility to play. So you must understand that there is a response. Secondly, you must understand mutual benefits.
All right. Before we move on, let's go on a short break now, because I know that if we can just continue on this frequency. However, we need to go on a short break now. We have been talking with Pastor Benson Ogbe on the issue of love in marriage, finding and keeping it to the end. And one of the things he has said here that resonates with me is that marriage is a call to responsibility, and a selfish person cannot be happily married. I think that we should all continue to ponder on that as we go on this short break. Make sure you call your friends so that they can come and join us, because when we open the phone lines, when we come back, we're going to open the phone lines so that we can have contributions and questions and so on and so forth. Make sure you stay tuned and you don't go away.